Hi guys, I hope everyone's doing well today, and today we're going to talk about how to get what you want. Let's get right into it. I love this topic. So, when we are thinking about simply what we want in our life, the most important thing that you need to realize is to ask. And you might be like, okay, yeah, but how the fuck am I supposed to ask? If I wouldn't have asked, I would have just asked Google and got the answer step by step, right? Yeah, that's what most people think about. But it goes so much deeper than that. And when we ask ourselves, one, what is the thing that we want? Why? The reason why I clicked on this video is because there's something that you want in this life and you are trying to find the answer to it and you don't know how. When we ask, what does even asking mean? Let's just take a step back and think, okay, but what does this word even mean? When you literally ask someone, something, Google, whatever, when you are asking something or someone, you are trying to receive an answer, right? Can we all agree to that? Can we all come to an agreement with when we ask something, we want a simple or long, whatever answer. We want an answer. And so it's sometimes hard for people to comprehend this because it's like when you are asking for something that you want, let's say you search it up on Google, how do I cook something, right? How do I cook pasta, whatever. You are trying to find an answer. When you are a, let's say, worker at a store and a client or someone comes in and they're like, how can I help you? How can I be of assistance to you? You are asking them to give you an answer so that you know how they think, you know how they feel about that question, and you are getting your answer received. Sometimes it's that simple, sometimes it just takes a quick Google search to get something, and that's usually what we want. But when you really think about it, for me personally, I am constantly asking. I'm constantly asking Google, or I'm constantly just asking someone for clarity, or do you need help? How can I help you? Or how do I do this? I'm constantly asking. And that's so important. And it genuinely makes me better. It makes me first feel that I have enough confidence to ask. One, that's simply one. Two, it's that when I ask, I'm getting my answer. Simply. Three, you're not just getting an answer, you literally have more clarity with yourself in whatever that topic of question was. And so when it comes to something deeper, like something that we want in this life, you need to ask yourself, there's no Google, there's no parent or teacher or nothing involved. When you simply want something from yourself and out of your life, you need to sit down with yourself, literally look in the fucking mirror, look at yourself dead in the eyes and ask yourself, why do you want something? How can you get it? Does it involve a skill set? Does it involve other expertise? What does it involve? Because you have to ask yourself to get those things, But this is the catch. Here's the catch, is that when, for example, I or someone were to say, literally look at yourself in the mirror, directly look at yourself in the fucking mirror and ask yourself questions, people get uncomfortable. People can't stand the feeling of looking at themselves in the mirror. With or without makeup, naked or not, it doesn't matter. You need to gain that confidence of directly looking at yourself in the mirror and being like, I like you. I love you. I love the person you're becoming. I like the way you talk and you walk, and I like the way your mindset works. And if you are at the step where you can't look at yourself, you have to then get to that extent where you're like, I love you and I'm happy to be this person. Because at the end of the day, you will never be able to not touch yourself, but it's like you'll never be able to look at yourself in a 3D version and directly look at yourself with your eyes besides a reflection. unless some fucking scientist in the next decade creates some fucking thing where you physically can touch and look at yourself in a 3D figure, amazing. Scratch everything I just said. But for now on, that's not possible. And if you are seeking something in life, if you want something in life and you can't directly look at yourself in the mirror, then there's a problem. There's a problem. You're lacking something, and it's not a bad thing. You know, there's a lot of words in like the English language and all the other languages that can come off as very negative, like lacking, weakness, failing, selfish, you know. There's a lot of words that we grow up with naturally and have this wired into our brain that it's bad. Growing up thinking spiders are bad and scary, monsters under our beds. These are things where it naturally gives us fear because of the wired connections that we've had since we were young, in our inner child. It's our inner child. And so when you hear the word of, okay, well, you can look at yourself in the mirror because you're lacking something, you might get triggered and you might be like, oh, maybe she's right. No, she's wrong. It doesn't matter. It's a word that naturally triggers people because it's negative. And you have to think, first of all, why is lacking something bad? Is it because I'm not good enough for something? Why is failing bad? Because I was never good at it? But now in our society, we hear that failing is so necessary. It's such a necessary thing that we need in life for us to grow and be better. Because if no one failed, how are we supposed to know where we went wrong? And you know what I mean? Like that's something, if you understand what I'm getting at here, there are certain things in the world that we might that might trigger us, and that they might change our perspective completely. And here's also another thing. It's okay. It's okay for those things to trigger you. And it's okay to think about yourself a little differently if you feel like you lack something or you just failed something. It's okay. Because why are you going to feel guilty for something you never had control over? You never chose to let your brain think, okay, well, this word is going to mean something positive and this one isn't. We don't have that superpower. If we all did, we'd all be fucking, superstars and, flying like birds. But honey, no, that's not the way that it works. And so we also have to realize is that we have this thing in our brains that's called neuroplasticity, and you can rewire and have different beliefs and values for yourself. It's actually quite cool because that is scientifically proven for us. And when you actually want something in your life, you have to ask yourself. But that's the part that people lack, is that they don't ask and they try to find the answer. And it's not about getting the answer, because you need to ask before you get the answer. The answer comes from asking, but a lot of people just want it like that. And sometimes it's in your face. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes the answer is right in our face without having to ask, but you think that you don't have to ask, but you already asked when the answer was in your face. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Anyways, I can ramble about this topic all day long, but I just wanted to summarize everything in a short little video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.